So last, without any hesitation, Thomas JC and Pedro Pajes. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. We appreciate it. We're gonna have a good time here talking about these two guys. Well, how Mike probably explained to everybody, but I want to first welcome Mike Raines, my son, who's part of the Raines on the Cardinals podcast. We're having a great time doing that show together. Hopefully everybody checks it out as well. So if we can have the host, we're gonna do a couple things, housekeeping things first, and then we'll get started on the Q&A program and the questions from the audience. So if we have all the people from the hotel that worked on this event, we want to get a picture real quick of everybody from the hotel staff to come up and line up behind us here. We'll get a picture. Look at Sal. You're looking at Sal. All right, and then we have a couple of special people here in the audience that have birthdays today. So one is our good friend, Howard Comiskey. So Howard can come up. We're going to grab a picture of Howard. And we'll also... To you, birthday. Happy birthday to you. And also just to tell the also happy birthday to him as well. So, all right, so appreciate it. Very good. Howard, thank you. Howard can go back to his not. All right, so we're going to get started with these two guys. I want to first of all talk about how the spring is going. First, I guess, Pedro, what's your spring been like so far?
It's been exciting. Just starting to warm up both offensively and defensively. Just getting the group together. We're finally building that chemistry we want to have. So I think it's been a lot of fun working with the new guys we have. Just guys coming back from last year, and it's just going to be obviously a fun and great year we're going to have this year.
Yeah, it's been really fun and really nice to come back here and get a little more comfortable. And it's my second year with the Cardinals, so the comfort level is a lot better. And just getting around a group of guys has been really, really awesome. Everybody's really good and really good people. So.
One thing is, if you got any real scoops you want to know about Thomas, his dad, Thomas and Jason's with us today too. So you can find him later on in the audience. We'll see if he raises his hand to ask a question later on. What about you mentioned the young guys? Do you feel like there's a different vibe in this spring training camp than maybe so a year ago?
I don't think there's a different vibe. Yeah, it's just a bunch of we have a lot of young guys, honestly, with us, and we've been through every level together. So I think it's just, we know each other. We've been together for many years now, just through every single level, just in the minor leagues. And I think it's something important for us that we do have that relationship already, just so we started from the bottom and we're made it to the top. Now just keep working that way. So I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a different energy, different vibe. I think every year spring training is all about the same thing, getting the team ready. Just to be ready to go opening day and just one day at a time. But I think the energy's been the same. It's just obviously we just have a good relationship with each other.
Thomas, I know you first met Pedro Springfield after the trade, I played against him.
Yeah.
Texas League before the trade, and then you guys became teammates.
Yeah, that was awesome. He was a player of anybody. But yeah, just like what he was saying, there's definitely, I just feel more involved, and definitely the group of guys there's a lot of chemistry there, just all the young guys, and everybody seems to be very loose and having a good time. And I think that's the way it should be. So,
and I know people have talked about, this year being the year of opportunity for some of the young guys to get a chance. And that's to encourage both of you guys to know that you're going to get, some opportunities this year to maybe show, what you can do.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great place to be for a young player, and especially somebody like me who's kind of on the fringe. It's a good spot to be where, I could get a really, really good opportunity to play at the big league level and play a lot. So that's something to look forward to for sure.
Yeah.
And
One question for both of you. When did you decide, or not decide maybe, but think for the first time about playing baseball as a career? How old were you, and what was the circumstances?
for me, it was ever since I could remember. I don't remember not wanting to be a professional baseball player. It's something that I've always wanted and always dreamed of when I was really little. So I don't even, just from the time I was in diapers, pretty much.
We can ask his dad if that's true or not.
Yeah, I would say the same. I think it's just I started playing baseball when I was 4 when I moved over from Venezuela, my family. And ever since then, obviously, just looking up to all the ex-big leaguers that we had. Like, I always looked up to Yachty as one of them because I was a catcher, obviously. But just trying to be like them, trying to make it to the big leagues has always been a dream. And when a dream comes true, it's amazing. But now you got to keep that dream going. So the work's not done, and we just got to keep fighting every day.
I wrote a story on Thomas last year in spring training, and one of the things that he told me, that when I asked him about, was when he was, 8th grade, I think, junior high, he read a book about hitting that stuck with him, that is one of the ways he models himself as a hitter. It was written by a guy named Ted Williams.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's true. The main takeaway from that was that he used to hit until his hands bled. So, and my parents always told me, there's no secret to success. You just have to work hard. So then that's kind of what I did, and I attribute a lot of my success to countless hours in the cage in high school. I was never really incredibly gifted with strength or anything, or any one, baseball tool in particular, but I think a lot of hard work, and there's obviously some talent there that just helped me get to the next level and helped me know myself a little better, just through many, many repetitions.
Question for Pedro too. We all know, and Thomas, don't take this personally, nobody works harder on the baseball field than a catcher.
Yeah.
So, and you talked about Yachty for a second. I mean, even when you were in the minor league camp, you still were one of the catchers that they brought up to the big league camp because they need those extra catchers. They have so many pitchers here. You saw, and I know had you guys out there early in the morning doing a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. I remember my first big league spring training was in 2020, and got to meet Yachty, and it was something crazy, obviously. Someone I looked up to, and it was just a crazy experience. But just the way he went about himself, the way he worked, and how he would outwork everyone. That's what I think made him the best catcher to this day, in my opinion. But it's just the way he went about his business, the way he worked, and the way he cared about everyone around him. It's just something impressive, and I want to obviously carry that on. Just because at the end of the day, he always said something to us as catchers. It's like, if you can help people around you with it, that means you're mastering it, and you just keep getting better that way. So I think it's very important, and I think that's just something I want to live by.
And we talk about the young players too. You've had an opportunity to catch a lot of the young pitchers who come up in the organization, either in the minor leagues that say come along with you, or here in spring training the last couple of years. We're on the verge of seeing a real good group of young pitchers going to be ready for the major leagues pretty soon.
No, 100%. We have a good group of guys down there, especially some that you saw last year. When Greavy came up, did his job. Gracefo, same thing. We have a good Teco Roby's on the verge of breaking as well. It's just we have a good group of young guys that are ready to go. Obviously, they need a little more experience or whatever it is that they need to work on. But little by little, you're going to start seeing them this year, and I think you guys are going to be impressed with the type of stuff they have and the type of pitches they are.
And Thomas, one question for you, and then we're going to open it up to questions for the audience. We talked about Pedro learning from Yachty. I know the last couple of spring trainings you've had a chance to learn from a guy named Ozzie Smith.
Yeah, definitely pretty cool. The shortstop ever. So, the first week I think he's out here in spring training. So last year I asked him some stuff, but this year I was always looking for him, trying to ask him. Just trying to eat lunch with him or whatever that looks like.
Canadian friends in there.
Yeah, he was very, very talkative and wanted to share. I'm just gonna try to be around this guy. can, and yeah, try to learn from them.
We are taping this show that we're going to put it on the website as a special edition of the podcast. So anybody who has a question, if you want to come up, the easiest thing will be to come up where Mike is holding the microphone, and we'll have you ask some questions that way. We'll be able to go from there. So anybody's got a question, let's just line up over here by the fireplace and get going on. Anybody got any questions? Can you hear now? How about now? Everybody hear me? There we go. Who's got questions out here?
Come on, don't be shy. Come on.
I'd like to ask Pedro, how special was your day at Wrigley Field? I know the one you're talking, you know the one I'm talking about. I think it was 2 homers and a special fan in the stands.
Yeah, it was probably the best time I've ever had on a baseball field, and it's gonna be hard to beat unless obviously we win the World Series. But yeah, man, it was Father's Day weekend. My family was able to go out. My dad was being in the stands there, and just being able to hit my first home run that Friday, and then hitting the home run on Sunday, my first step out of the game on Father's Day. It was just something very special, and just everything we went through as a family, and just everything he sacrificed for me to get to the point that I was. It was just so special having him in the stands, and we shared moments on the field afterwards, shared tears, and it was something I'm always going to remember.
Congratulations. I have one question for Tommy. You play a lot of positions, done very well. Which is your favorite? I know you're going to say just as long as it's major league. What is your favorite?
That's a good answer. I come on a lot. Honestly, wherever I've played most recently. I think it's hard to go from second to third and third to second, short. But I get comfortable once I've played a lot of third or when I played a lot of short. You know, it just kind of.
But what's your favorite?
I guess shortstop.
I'm surprised you didn't say catcher.
I really like center field.
Okay. Of all the young pitchers with the Cardinals, who do you think shows the most promise?
Tough question. Yeah. That's tough, man. We have a lot of young guys right now that I think are very promising and have a lot of good stuff. But from what I've seen, let's say this spring training, I might have to say Tekoa Roby. His stuff is just something that's you don't see a lot nowadays. Of just he's out there chucking 98, 99 with an absolute curveball. So I think he's going to be a guy that this year he's going to surprise a lot of people and just go out there and just do him. But I think him. You want to?
Well, you know,
I know he's your boy.
That's
Pedro.
Pedro. Pedro is saying, you know, there's a lot of very promising guys. There's Seppo and McGreevy and Sam, who are all really, really good. I think I got to go with TK as well, mostly because I don't think he'd be very happy with me. But
Should qualify by saying that Tekoa Roby and Thomas were roommates in spring training. They were drafted together in 2020 by the Rangers. I've read a lot about both of them, including a story about Tekoa just the other day. So it would have been shocking if you would have picked somebody other than him. He would never know. We'll find out. Any other questions out there? Guys are quiet. who are the biggest breaks in the RV?
I think there's one answer, and I think everyone in this room might know it already. It's Lars. There's just, yeah, it's his energy, the way he goes about it. He's always messing around, always keeping you on your toes, but he means it in a good way. And Tommy could probably talk about that. He was giving him a little hard time last year, but Lars is the best.
Yeah, it's definitely Lars. Not even close.
Make a sandwich.
Yeah, when I first got called up, he kept saying, "Hey man, goalie wants a sandwich. Go make him a sandwich." He always passes me, and he always tries to get everybody else in on it. But I'm right by Arenado in spring training, and our lockers are right next to each other. So Lars will kind of try to come at me, and then I'll kind of throw a jab back at him, and then Arenado kind of gets on my team, and then he gets fired really big.
There's a question there. Didn't you take Lars was part of a group of guys who went to the Florida Atlantic baseball game here a couple of weeks ago? We heard him talking about that.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to throw the first pitch out at FAU, my alma mater. Went down there for a midweek game against Miami, so it was a big game for us. And I was still at the first pitch, and I was telling Nolan about it and Lars, and Nolan wanted to catch him for some weird reason. He's like, "I want to catch him." I was like, "All right, I'll ask my coach for it." And it was an awesome experience. Nolan went down there with me, Lars, Siani, and he was my catcher, so I was able to throw first pitch to Nolan. It was kind of cool.
I was a little late, so this may have been answered. What's your thoughts on the computerized automatic ball stretch?
I think as a hitter, you love it. As a pitcher, you probably won't. But as a catcher, I guess I won't either. But I think there's some benefit to it. I like what they're doing right now about the challenge system. I don't think the whole automated zone of just completely taking the umpire's discretion out of it, I don't think that's going to work out. But I think the whole challenge system, just depending, because you get a certain amount, so you only can use it in big situations and stuff like that. I think that's going to be beneficial because in a big game, if there's a bad call, I can challenge it, hopefully win it, and then it'll be good for us. So I think doing a challenge way, if they figure out the right strike zone, right dimensions, how they're going to do it, I think it'll work out. But the full zone, no.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Actually, a real zone. But definitely, I don't think the full one will ever make it. But I like the challenge a lot because the challenge honestly gives the umpires, baseline to kind of go off of. And then, AAA last year, we saw the umpires get really good. I thought they were really good towards the end because they've been challenged so many times and they actually know what the zone is. So I think that would be really good. I didn't even mean to sound that.
So challenged a lot.
Sure. No, I got a follow-up to it for Pedro though. So as a catcher, do you think the automatic ball strike system takes the art of framing out of the game? Or is it still important?
No, 100%. Now, if you keep the challenge system, it's still important because you're obviously going to hopefully waste your challenges on borderline pitches. But if they completely take it out and they just go fully automated, yeah, it just takes the art away. I can just sit back there and just be ready to throw and block and not have to worry about framing or anything like that. So I think that would hurt my career. So I hope they don't do that. Something I take pride in. So, but yeah, I think it'll definitely change the game of catching.
Pedro, what's it like to catch for Ryan Helsley?
I get that question a good amount. It's a lot of fun. He throws very hard, everyone knows. And the good thing about him, he throws very hard, but he knows where it's going. So it makes our life way easier. But no, it's a lot of fun working with him. He likes to attack the zone. He likes going after everyone. He doesn't give in. And it's just a lot of fun working with him. His mentality, his mindset, it's a lot of fun working with him.
So, Thomas, I want to ask you, when you came up to the big leagues last year, what was the biggest adjustment that you found that you had to make, and how have you tried to work on that, both in the fall league and now this spring?
Definitely just kind of knowing what pitchers are trying to do. They're a lot better mentally in the big leagues, and they have more of a game plan and know their strengths a lot better. And then for me, that kind of was shrinking the zone a little bit and swinging at the pitches that I actually can do damage with. Kind of got away with swinging a lot too much in the minor leagues, where in the big leagues that gets exposed really quick. So I think that was a big focus for me in the off season and in the fall league, and then even now.
We have time for a couple more questions, so anybody, maybe somebody in the back there to come up to the front here and ask a question, if you'd like. We have a runner, we have a runner.
I got one, is the new batting coach helped a lot?
Yeah, I really like him. I feel like he's very structured and everything is it's pretty simple and he gives you something to kind of work off of. He said, this is what you're good at. This is what we want you to do. We think you can do this. And then, that makes it pretty easy for us. We have a plan set out for us. Now we just have to execute it.
Yeah, I agree with that. To piggyback off that, he's been great ever since he got in here. He's kept everything simple. He's been straightforward with it. He knows everyone works different ways. Everyone has different ways what you want to know before the game. If you want to go really into depth in the scouting report, or if you just want it as simple as possible. So he just knows how to approach you, and then you just go out there and, like he said, just execute the plan.
This is a question for both of you. In baseball, there are superstitions. How are you superstitious and how are you superstitious in what way?
I think I have a lot. But the biggest one, so around this time, because St. Patrick's Day is coming up, I get a green necklace. My fiance gives me a green necklace every year, and one of those like bead ones, the cheap ones. And I end up wearing that the whole year, and that's one of my superstitions. Like that necklace gives me hits, and right now I don't have one, so maybe that's why I'm not getting as many hits out there. But it's coming. So, but that's one of them. Another one is when I walk up to the plate, I have a little like ritual I do. Just look up to the sky and like clap, and I'm just talking to my mom, and just it's a little ritual I do every at bat. So there's a couple little things that I do, but those are the two biggest ones.
Oh, that's not.
I have a couple weird ones. I don't like stepping on the cracks of the sidewalk. I don't like stepping on lines, like parking on lines. And sometimes I do it though.
It happens.
I tend to think about it. When I do it, I'm like, oh gosh.
I did not know this about you.
I didn't have it till that question.
Lars is gonna know about this tomorrow.
Question for both of you regarding hitting. What exercise or techniques, or maybe one or two, are the best to help you improve your hitting?
I think that's personalized. Everyone's different. So one thing I focused on a lot this offseason, I think is going to benefit me, was bat speed or just creating more like rotational power in my swing. So I focus a lot on that, like that type of training this offseason, because I can't move like he does, and he probably can't move like I do because I just can never get to that point. But so I just need to know like what I need to work on. So it's more bat speed for me and just creating space. So that's what I focused on.
I definitely focus on kind of the rotational aspect of it, and I have a couple kind of weird things that I like to do.
You can see he's kind of weird.
I think a lot about my loading mechanism and making sure that I'm in a balanced position. If that makes sense. So I want to be in a balanced position while I load and pick up my leg to gather. And then when I'm moving forward, I kind of maintain that position and try and get all the energy I can going forward into the ball, into the ground. And then, and that comes with a lot of different mechanical things, a lot of where my hand placement is, where my head is, where everything. If I'm starting, if my setup's bad, I like to just try to be balanced, try to like an old school 50-50 scale. I basically want to be 50-50 the whole time where I'm not really going anywhere. So that's kind of my main thing.
One thing about Thomas too, that I'm sure everybody noticed, he's one of the few guys out there now that doesn't wear batting gloves. You're half a half?
Yeah, I try to tell Pedro to just full send it No matter.
No, that's another superstitious thing. If I'm hitting with batting gloves, I keep them. If I'm not, we'll go no batting gloves. And you just go back and forth. That's how I do it.
Any other questions? Anybody else?
So how we're gonna do this now, if anybody'd like to get a photograph or a picture, you can kind of line up here along the fireplace and come this way. Donation jar up here. If you'd like to make a donation to the charity, we appreciate it. All these guys' taking the time to help the charity out, to be here voluntarily, so we appreciate them being here. So that's. How about another good round of applause? Thomas and JT, President Collins, Governor Cass.
Do they have balls?
I think the food and everything is set up as well, so Rick, you'll go ahead and check that out. The drinks and stuff are set up. Silent auction's gonna go until 6 o'clock. So you check that out. We're also gonna draw the wing raffle tickets after a while, as well for the 3 nights stay here for both times. Enjoy, everybody, just hang around, have a good time. Tim mentioned, if you haven't had a chance to go in and check out the silent auction, we have a lot of really good event memorabilia, a lot of signed autographed baseballs. We also have an autographed authentic Sam Music. A lot of authenticity with it as well. So check out all those items in the silent auction.
Unless there's something else you want to use, I mean, we can edit it if you just leave it running, but I don't think we need to.
I think I'll just, with this on.